So, did we really think it was going to end with Alex Jones? Did we honestly really believe, some of us, I should say, that it would be like, ooh, yeah, okay, we got rid of Alex Jones, that crazy nutcase. Now we can, calm down and focus on things that matter, like the midterms, you know? But no, 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 no. We knew it wasn't going to stop there because guess what happened today in the news when it comes to censorship and banning? Gavin McInnes and the Proud Boys have been suspended from Twitter. They also have had, um, I think, a Patreon account that's been terminated, and a few other strews of social media accounts that have been terminated. All, I think, with connections to what happened back in Charlottesville. Even though Gavin McInnes denounced the actions of Unite the Right before uh, Charlottesville, before the last Unite the Right, and before the next one, which is coming up. So I don't see how Twitter could have made that connection, but why would they have waited, an entire year after Charlottesville to ban them? See, I think this is Twitter doing damage control to appease the frothing at the mouth liberal social justice warriors who are screaming and shouting at Jack Dorsey for not banning Alex Jones from Twitter. And if you take a look at a lot of these news articles about Alex Jones, we've gotten past the yay, Alex Jones has been banned, or Alex Jones has been banned from Facebook, Spotify, YouTube, mass, deplatforming. But hey, it's okay. He's spewing hate speech, and he got the families from Sandy Hook harassed or something like that, even though he never spoke of them by name. And you aren't held accountable for the actions of others. So I don't understand why um, this keeps getting bashed over his head, and they use that as the crux of their argument to deplatform him. But now we've moved past him being deplatformed on these ones, and you on these social medias, and you see that it's not enough. The mob is not done yet. So they are now nipping at the heels of Twitter and harassing them to get rid of them. CNN, of course, pushing it all the way, and of course their producer guy Oliver Darcy keeps on tweeting updates every couple hours about the things that they're finding on Alex Jones's Twitter account that violates the so very vague terms of service of Twitter. I mean, like just 5, 6 years ago, those things were very straightforward and concise. Now they're so vague, you just don't even understand half of it. It's really 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 concerning. But you can see that there has to be a reason behind the censorship. Why now? Like, because Sandy Hook happened 6 years ago. Why would they deplatform him now? Because he is effective. Alex Jones gets to the masses. He one ups the mainstream media, who's constantly crying about how they are not the enemy of the people. If you have to say, hey, 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 I'm not the enemy of the people, okay, then you have serious credibility issues, because if you actually have to clarify that with people, then, or if you have to state that because you're insecure about people even thinking about that, then you have credibility issues, okay? So you see them, because they can't compete, they have to tear him down. So that's one reason for censorship, but it's also because we have midterms coming up here. We have midterm elections, and you can actually see the targeted censorship of right wing commentators, bloggers, even representatives in the government are getting shadow banned, and then they had the social media guys had to pull back and saying, "Oops, oops, um, can't can't do that, guys. They're gonna drop the hammer on us," and that's exactly what needs to be done. And this is a good segue into the next article, or the next piece I wanted to show you guys here. In a corporatist system of government, corporate censorship is state censorship. And this is something I want to get into people's heads. I'm going to try to make it very concise when you hear this whole "it's a private company" argument. Oh, they're a private company; they can do what they want, they can censor who they want, and you can't do anything. Well, here's the issue here. Here's the gray area. They're publicly traded private companies, so that means the public has an investment in that. There are shareholders who have or they I mean these companies have obligations to these shareholders to make the money. And if you are going against the culture of the United States where it's, freedom of speech, with the, First Amendment and all that, if you are starting to display anti-constitutional methods of doing business, people are going to start losing money because they are not going to be getting on these platforms. And you can already see it. The stock market, Facebook and Twitter have lost hundreds of billions of dollars in the last couple of weeks. So they're scrambling. They're bleeding out. And maybe this censorship is them trying to maybe plug the hole, but it's just gonna rip this wound wide open, because they're publicly owned or publicly traded companies, so they have an obligation to shareholders. So there's one thing. But if you can see in this article, whenever Facebook, Twitter, and Google were at the U.S. Senate, they were instructed to, quell information rebellions and adopt a mission statement expressing their commitment to prevent the fomenting of discord. So the government ordered these companies to start cracking down on dissidents, pretty much. If you're getting ordered if you're taking orders from the government, then how are you a private company? You still own yourself, but do you really own yourself when you're just, being the yes man to the government? I mean, you're selling yourself out. So another aspect is, where do these big old multi-trillion-dollar global corporations right pretty much right now, global corporations, they pretty much hold the linchpin to the digital platform of free speech, like across the internet. But anyway, where do these companies start? Well, you always hear the old adage of, oh, Mark Zuckerberg started his Facebook in his dorm room and stuff, and Twitter, came out of like some guy's like garage or some crap like that. These like grassroots stories. But yeah, they might have sparked the idea, but where do you think they got the entire boatload of money to invest in that, expand the software, expand the computing power, and then hire people to get this thing off the ground? They got they got these things from the government. They had grants of like millions and millions of dollars issued to them by the government to as a startup for these programs. And then when these guys get nice and big, they lobby the government. Like Google gave the government millions and millions of dollars in 2016. Hundreds of millions of dollars. They also donated to the Hillary Clinton campaign. I think Facebook donated to the Hillary Clinton campaign, or Mark Zuckerberg. I mean, that's in the WikiLeaks. So, I mean, you cannot tell me that these are privately owned companies when they have their hands in everybody else's pie while they have the hand of the government up their ass, okay? So, getting back to this censorship of what happened today with Gavin McInnes, remember, these companies are losing hundreds of billions of dollars. They are already under duress from members of Congress and the Senate about their pretty much biased practices and their willful disregard of Section 230 of the Communication Decency Act, where they're supposed to be a public forum, a public platform, and not and pretty much an editorial board where pretty much now they can become liable for all kinds of um, um, lawsuits based on violations of freedom of speech. Oh my God, they go bankrupt. They buy alternative media. Rise of alternative media. Like, like we thought we'd have to fight them. No, they're gonna get they're gonna get sued into oblivion. It'll be hilarious. But what happened to Gavin McInnes is, of course, them trying to appease the crazed mob because Alex Jones is still out there with a voice. And we know appeasement doesn't work. It's happened in the past. The most famous was, I think, the Munich Agreement signed by Mussolini, Hitler, and Chamberlain, where uh, Chamberlain got Hitler to agree to not expand any more. Like, Germany was big enough, they've got all the territory back that they want, and there's not going to be any more expansion. And he flies back home and like waves a piece of paper in the air. Yeah, yeah, piece of paper. Yeah, Hitler didn't care. He thought you're weak. That that's why he entertained Chamberlain. He was he was just tagging. He was just stringing him along like a little lapdog. It was hilarious back then, but it's pathetic now. But again, all this sums up to where we have an issue on our hands. Censorship is going to continue. And Thomas Ellington actually made a good, quick video where he described the Overton window and the spectrum of extreme right and then far right, right, center, and then center, all being degraded because of more layers and layers of censorship because of reasons. It was a good video, so you should check it out. I'll put the link to that in the description below. But what does this all mean? The censorship. Where do we go from here? Like, we do have alternative media sites, which is good. We need places like BitChute, Minds.com, Gab, even though Gab is now under attack from their own server. Pretty much the people who run the actual internet provider to Gab. This whole internet stuff is all like in my head it's all like blah. Anyway, they're under attack. Funny that. So apparently there were some posts on Gab, and somebody complained to their ISP provider, pretty much, and their service provider, and Microsoft Azure, and they told them, we will shut off the service to Gab if you don't delete these posts. Okay, so that means that can happen to Gab, but why can't that happen to Twitter or Facebook or somebody when somebody throws up, like Sarah Jong when she says cancel white people, or it's pretty sick the joy I get from being mean to old white men. How about somebody complains to the ISP of Twitter, and then they contact Twitter, says we're going to shut down Twitter until you delete these posts. What are they going to do? That would, oh my God, that's funny. That would be hilarious. But anyway, we have alternative media. I mean, yeah, we have alternative media, alternative sites to go to, but we need to I think we need to stand and fight right here. We need to bring these big companies to the Senate floor, to the House committee floor, and get them to adhere to the U.S. Constitution. They need to be put in check like utilities, okay? Because they have a monopoly on the digital freedom forum of open discussion and speech. They control what can be talked about, how it can be talked about, and who can talk about it. It's completely Orwellian. It's crazy, draconian, and pretty much, I don't know any more words. It's pretty much the spider web is all entangled everywhere, and we need to cut ourselves free from it, okay? Because these companies, it's only a handful of them that own I think 95% of all the main traffic you get on the internet, besides like the dark web and stuff, like on like the non-dark web, most of these companies own like 95% of what you're looking at. It's nuts. Oh, and another thing here, here's one more last thing. Ethan Klein, H3H3. I don't really watch him. I don't really pay attention to that kind of stuff, but they were on a stream just talking about Alex Jones, and they get banned from streaming. But I think this is an algorithm thing, and that goes to show another thing that happens in Silicon Valley and and San Francisco, and this liberal mindset, to where they write their liberal mindset into their algorithms, because they actually have keywords like patriot, or like United States flag, or gun, or like Trump, or redneck, or like they put these words in as like markers so they can identify and discriminate against conservatives. Because here, look at this. YouTube responds to him. Hi, Ethan. Our team looked into this and determined the live stream was taken down incorrectly because their algorithm, which is tuned to, look out for the keywords like Alex Jones, censorship, banned, yada yada, and that will remove it. The strike has been removed. Our apologies and thank you for your patience. Oh, nothing to see here. Sorry about that. Please continue like nothing ever happened. I hope they keep talking about this, and this is another thing that has to be looked out for. So I think I'm going to wrap it up here. We have a big major censorship issue on our hands. We have the elections coming up, midterms, and if enough conservative voices get silenced for whatever reason, all you're going to have is CNN spewing Trump, Russia, and then conservative yada yada and blah 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 blah, and Ocasio-Cortez is so wonderful, and then that's all you'll have. I mean, you'll just have regurgitated crap. So, anyway, I think I'm gonna end that here. But what are we gonna do, guys? Leave a comment below. Maybe you have an idea. But I'll leave a link to that one Thomas Ellington video, and I'll have a link to my BitChute, my Gab, Minds, all that down below. So you guys have a good night. I'll see you later.